So thanks again for joining and taking the time, obviously, to come on Analyst to CEO. As you can tell, we're both in New York and you can hear ambulances in the background. But I have been following your page for a long time. I have some of your merch, but for anyone who doesn't know who you are, can you introduce yourself and talk about your business a little bit?
Sure. My name is Manasi Arya, and I have a small business called Art with Manasi. I have been doing this for about a year and a half-ish. And I kind of started doing a lot of it when I was kind of growing up. I've always done art. My mom is an artist, and I kind of just have always been surrounded by it, but I never kind of had anything in my life where I could kind of pursue it or continue it. It was always just for fun. And then I always had a bunch of projects that were lined up. I finally made an Instagram for art just to kind of hold myself accountable after graduating college. And then during the pandemic, I finally had so much time to dedicate to my art, and I decided to create a logo so that I can make it an Etsy. And then from there, digital art was the reason why I got more attention. I had a few pieces that had gone viral, and that definitely gave me the opportunity to kind of expand and grow my business. And then last year, or this past year, I created a website. So then I was able to expand and come up with clothing and just different ways for people to represent themselves in a very simple way. Everyone wears t-shirts, everyone wears hoodies and sweaters and things like that. And to me, being able to wear something that represents you on a shirt where anybody can get a shirt at Old Navy or Walmart or whatever was super important to me. And then to have it be my art was even cooler. And so I really wanted to do that for people to feel represented. And then that's kind of how it all came. And so I do this, and then I'm also a kindergarten teacher.
And that's awesome. It's such a great profession as well, and you're balancing both at the same time. So how do you dedicate time to both?
Yeah, it is very challenging, but I always feel like I take some time every day to do something that's in the creative side, whether it's making a video or just thinking of ideas or working on my website of some sort of capacity. Creating art has been very challenging, and to take the time has been very difficult because I just don't have it. But I do dedicate mornings of my weekends to it, or I do a bulk amount of it during holidays. And I think I gave myself a lot of grace that it's okay to not keep to create something every single day, and to make more videos if I need to, or just tutorials or something like that, anything of that sort. I gave myself grace. And so I just kind of go with the flow and do what I want.
That's awesome. And I feel like a lot of businesses, especially small businesses, gained a lot of traction during COVID. Did you experience anything like that in terms of social media following, or just in general, demand for your products?
Yeah, I definitely got a lot of attention during COVID, and that's kind of how it all started. I had the time during COVID, so I don't think that it would have even come up if I didn't have that. And then from there, I think people were sitting at home and kind of looking through Instagram and TikTok a lot too. So both platforms gained attention from random pieces that I had posted and things like that. So I definitely kind of went with the whole COVID thing.
Yeah, totally. And also, like you mentioned, social media is such a big power tool for a lot of businesses. So, and I obviously have seen you've done really creative reels and done a good job of showcasing your products. And what did you have a strategy in mind or recommendations for small businesses and how they kind of market themselves?
Well, first of all, thank you. Honestly, no, I kind of just did the most random things and then did whatever I wanted to do. A lot of the videos that I post with just my art has to do kind of with my the moments of when I'm painting something, and for people to see my process and to be as transparent about it as possible, because I think that's really important. And then kind of just going with the trends. TikTok is super trendy. And so like you can find so many cool things on there. And so that's what I did. And then in a way, like kind of creating it with my art, kind of worked too, and kind of, pushing it together and combining it in a way of like my personality and my art in like one page.
So obviously, like you said, your business has grown a lot. And how are you like accommodating for that increase in demand, whether it's like production, or do you have that kind of issue when you're trying to scale larger, basically?
Yeah. I had to think about this a lot because I had to figure out like where I wanted to go and how much I could even handle, because this isn't my full-time job. And I think if it were, I would be doing a lot of things differently, but I'm doing a lot of drop shipping. So I don't actually hold a lot of product other than like what you see in the back. And like, that's just literally it. That's like a bunch of stickers and post-it notes is all I have. Everything else is drop shipping. And I chose to do that because this isn't something that is my full-time job. And I don't think that anytime soon it will be. And to me, spreading the message of representation and feeling like you're heard is so much more important to me. And I also can't spend so much time dedicating with packaging when I could be creating. And it's also just me on this team. So that's also why it was like a good thing, because I could like make the decision, but also it's very challenging because like I have to do everything on my own. I don't get a very huge margin, but to me that's okay, because I don't necessarily like, this isn't my full-time job. But for people that do this for a full-time job, like I think getting a team of some sort that like manages your social media and or also manages some kind of like technology aspect of things, so like your website and stuff like that, is so important. And then getting someone else to do your packaging and things like that, because like last year I remember when like a random video blew up. It was actually this summer. It was like my post-it notes video, and it blew up. I didn't even have enough inventory for it. I was thankful that it was a summer, so I didn't have school, but like I could not imagine doing this full time because I would not have the capacity to do it. And so, yeah, I had to really think about what I was going to do. And then after that, I was like, yep, I'm just going to do pure drop shipping and then find products from there. And if people like something, they get it. If not, like I don't hold inventory, so it's okay.
Yeah, honestly, like as you said, sometimes you're compromising margins when you're not handling inventory directly yourself. But since it's like not your full-time role and you don't want to dedicate that much time into creating a team and all that, like obviously this is the best approach. But it is interesting because like I work in e-commerce as well, and like when you're fulfilling the things yourself versus allowing like a third party to do it, it's just the margins you can make. It's all about how you know how to manage inventory and having that capacity. So it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And like you said, what I love about your brand and why I own things directly from it as well is like that representation really does matter. And like the Mexican pizza sweater and like the Desi Powerpuff Girls, like all this stuff, whenever I wear it, I get super excited. And like whenever people ask me about it, I'm always so excited to share. So how important has it been to you to stay true to like the brand's mission as you continue making new pieces and like, keeping like that Desi, like brown community in mind?
Yeah. I mean, I think being authentic as possible was really important to me, but also like how I was able to create those fun pieces and then have people feel heard too. I guess I didn't realize how connected people would be because of how authentic I was, I guess. And so like moving forward, I do keep in mind, like, how do I feel represented with this piece? Do I like this piece? Do I feel connected to this piece? And like, is it authentic? Like, am I doing it because other people want me to do it, or am I doing it because I want to do it? And then I kind of go from there and I think about it. And that's definitely helped with just like random pieces that I have posted in the past few months. It is very challenging with coming up with new ideas because I honestly feel like everything has been done at this point.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of like Desi representation, because there are so many artists and so many like different types of musicians and like social media people that like do very similar things. But I think like what I really try to do is bring me into it, and there's no one else like me. And that's kind of what holds me and keeps me going.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's interesting because you say there's so many people, but like maybe even 3 or 5 years ago, I didn't feel like there was anybody. But
I,
then it's like all at once, I'm seeing every like so many posts identifying with like being Indian or being Desi or like even growing up in like mixed culture. Like so it's amazing to see like that representation is increasing. But at the same time, you're like making content and people are still resonating with it. So it's cool.
it is very cool.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Again, this was awesome. This was like the main questions that I had pretty much. I want everyone to check out your page and I'm gonna like link a bunch of stuff. And like I have editing skills to put some pictures up of your merch and then also your Instagram. So I'm sure people will go check it out.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And honestly, thank you for taking the time because it's cool for people to even want to hear what I have to say.